How to create a professional, responsive website and blog where you can engage in affiliate marketing and running display ads on your website. Let's begin. What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is David. So in this tutorial video, I'm gonna walk you through step 1 to step done on how you create a website and blog using the Kadence theme. The Kadence theme is fantastic. It's a completely free theme that's feature rich. It's responsive. It looks great on mobile devices. It has a lot of control over the look and feel of your website so you can really create something custom that you're happy with. Then I'm going to show you how to get a domain name at my preferred domain name registrar of choice in Namecheap. Then we're going to be getting a shared hosting account with Bluehost, which is the #1 recommended web host for WordPress. Then I'm going to show you how to install WordPress and design your website. So if you've been looking to get started with blogging and creating a niche website from scratch that you can grow into a profitable asset over time, this video is for you. Like always, make sure to check the links in the description for timestamps and resources mentioned in this video. So let's begin.
Okay, so this is the website I'm going to show you how to make with the Kadence theme, and I'm pretty impressed by this free theme, what you're able to do. So I'm going to show you how to create a logo, how to center the menu right here, how to add in a helpful button that you can link to whatever you want, how to add in a clear call to action, how to add in a gorgeous hero image in the background, how do you make various sections for your homepage, for example, like this visual menu where you could link to your buying guides on your websites, how to add in your latest and greatest blog posts, how to add in an email opt-in form at the footer that looks good. How do you design a footer that actually looks professional, as well as tips and advice for how to best optimize your blog posts. So let's get started. Welcome to Namecheap.com. So Namecheap is a domain name register. And what a domain name register is just an ICANN certified business where you can get .com, .net, .org. You can get your domain name, and I recommend going with a domain name register because it just makes everything easier, lower prices, free WHOIS protection. So let's get started. So very easy, just come here, type in the domain name that you want to register. So I'll type in mysuperamazingblog.com. Let's go ahead and see if that's available. Okay, so My Super Amazing Blog is available. So if the domain name of your choosing is not available, you're going to have to come up with something else. So just click here and type in something else. You can also use beast mode from Namecheap, which really helps you search for various domain name extensions, different price ranges, if it's like a premium domain name. But if this is your first website, I definitely recommend trying to get a .com. Anyways, when you're ready, go ahead and click add to cart. Okay, so let's go ahead and view the item by clicking checkout down there. And that's it. So right here is where you can submit payment. So I do want to cover a few things. So you have your domain name registration. Here is where you can set it for 1 year up to 10 years in advance if you want to lock in this $888 price. So you can go ahead and do that. I typically would suggest going for like 2 or 3 years. Now, auto renew allows the domain name to be automatically renewed, so your credit card will get charged again and again every single year. It's up to you if you want to leave it on or off. I personally leave it off because I like getting the notification that, hey, this domain name's expiring, and so then I can make a decision whether or not I want to renew it instead of having something auto renew and oops, I didn't want to pay for that. So again, totally up to you. And then the big thing that I really like with Namecheap is this domain name privacy. There's so many other services and so many other website builders and web hosts where they charge extra for this and you get it for free. So what domain name privacy is, it's just a way to keep your information private from spammers or whatever, because with ICANN, you have to submit publicly available information, and domain name privacy just keeps everything private. So anyone looks up like who owns a domain name, is just going to say that the domain name is registered at Namecheap. And that's it. So when you're ready, just go ahead and click confirm order and you are good to go. Welcome to Bluehost.com. So Bluehost is a web host, and they're actually the #1 recommended web host by WordPress. Now, what a web host is just a company with a bunch of industrial strength servers that are on 24/7, so your website is available 24/7. Now, to get started with Bluehost, it's very simple. You come down here and you click on this Get Started button. Okay, so now let's scroll down, and right over here are where their pricing plans are. Now here you have a bunch of different options. So here it's set to 36 months. So you can buy a plan for 36 months, 24 months, or 12 months. I personally recommend the 24-month price point because it usually takes about 2 years to really build up your website to 1,000 visitors or more a day. And then if you want to move away from Bluehost, you can do that. but that's what I would recommend. And now right over here, I definitely like their WHOIS Plus plan. I think this is the most feature-rich plan. It's a great price point. So please note that it's $545 a month as a starting rate, and then it renews at $17.99. So you can lock in this low rate for 2 or 3 years, which I definitely recommend doing. That's why I don't like the 12-month, because it takes a little bit of time to build up your website. And so that's why I like 24, 36. Then your website grows, you want to move away from Bluehost, you're making money from your website to justify the cost of a web host, etc. Then you can make that decision. Now, these other plans, let's come over to basic. You can only have one website here, so that's, for me, that's a deal breaker. Their plus plan is okay too, but in terms of the bandwidth and resources that you get, I really like the WHOIS Plus plan, and it's not that much more expensive at the renewal rate, and it's the same introduction rate. So for me personally, I would go with the WHOIS Plus plan. Anyways, when you're ready, click on the blue select button. Okay, so now it's time to set a primary domain name on our hosting account. All hosting accounts need a primary domain name. Now, Bluehost, it says right here, create a new domain name, and it's like, okay, I'll do, no, stop. That's going to register a domain name through Bluehost. You don't need to do that because you already bought your domain name at Namecheap. And Namecheap's better because you get a lower price point and free WHOIS protection. So we want to use this box right here, use a domain name you own. So go ahead and put in the domain name that you registered at Namecheap in here. Alright, so now it's time to go ahead and create your Bluehost account. So just fill out your account information, double check the package that you have selected down here, come down to package extras. Now you don't need any of this, so we'll uncheck the site lock security. And then right down here is your payment. So I'm not going to insult your intelligence how to pay for something online, just enter your credit card information and your information that you need to create your account. Then come down here, click I have acknowledged Bluehost terms of service, then go ahead and click on the green button, and that's it. So once you submit payment, you're going to be presented with some type of like on-screen onboarding process. At the bottom, you can just go ahead and click on skip, and you're going to end up here, and this is your Bluehost dashboard. Over here, it's going to say the primary domain name on the hosting account, which is the domain name that you registered at Namecheap that you put in when you were signing up to Bluehost. Now, it may say something like temporary box 1234. Totally fine. The next step that we need to do is update the name servers.
All right, so now we have our domain name at a domain name registrar, and we have a shared hosting account with Bluehost. Now the next step that we need to do is we need to connect the two. So we have to have our name servers at Namecheap point to our hosting account at Bluehost. Now that sounds like a little bit more techy and complicated than it is, but it's really simple. It's a copy and paste job. It takes 5 minutes, and I'm gonna show you how it's done right now.
Updating the name servers for your domain name to point to your hosting account. Very simple process. So once you purchase a hosting account, all web hosts are going to send some type of welcome email, and that welcome email is a bunch of helpful information. One of those things being is the name servers. So right down here with Bluehost, we have NS1, Bluehost, NS2, Bluehost. So simple. All you have to do is highlight this, go ahead and right click, go ahead and copy. Then you have to navigate back to your domain name. Now under the domain name tab in Namecheap, okay? There we go. So what we have to do is scroll down right here where it says name servers. Make sure to select custom DNS. There we go. And then just put in NS1 Bluehost and NS2 Bluehost. It has to be in that order. Don't do NS2 then NS1, like NS1 Bluehost, NS2 Bluehost. And that's it. So once you input that information, you're going to notice this tiny little green check mark. I can't believe how small they make it. So people like forget to click this. Just go ahead and click this, and that is it. Now it's going to pop up with a message saying that the propagation could take up to right here 48 hours to take effect. That's for full propagation. That's kind of true, but everything's going to be connected. Your domain name and your web hosting account are going to be connected within maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes. At this point in time, I would just go get a cup of coffee, come back in 10 minutes, come back in 20 minutes, and your website should be good to go. Now it's time to install WordPress. So the one cool thing that about Bluehost I really like for beginners is that with the primary domain name on the account, and then once you update name servers, everything should be already installed. Like WordPress should be already ready. But I want to walk you through step 1 to step down on how to properly install WordPress using Bluehost. So I'm actually going to navigate back to my sites, and I'm going to delete the site. So I'm going to go to manage. I'm going to jump into the settings over here. I'll come down here. Let's go ahead and delete this site, and let's start from scratch to have full control over all the little details of our website. Okay, so I'm going to go here to add sites and let's create a new site. Okay, so right over here, we're going to be using WordPress. So let's go ahead and click on get started. All right, so here is where you can put in your site name. So I'm going to put in the name of the website. Tagline, you can put in a tagline. You don't have to put in a tagline, totally up to you. You can always change this later. What is important is to click on this advanced tab. Now right down here is where you can set your email address, WordPress admin username, WordPress password. I like this because if you just let Bluehost do everything, they're just going to set your username and password for you because they want you to log into Bluehost, then log into your website. We're not going to do that. I want you to have full control of your website. So set whatever username, password, and email address you want that you know and can remember. Now, the email address is important because if you ever forget your username or your password, it's going to be sent to this email address. So it is important to put something that you actually use and check on a regular basis. Anyways, go ahead and fill out this information. Okay, so once you're ready, go ahead and click on next. Now, over here is where you can choose what directory you want to install WordPress on. Now, we want to install it on the root domain name, so in order to do that, you do nothing. Okay, don't put in like blog, because what's going to end up happening is WordPress will be installed on yourdomainname.com/blog, but not the rest of the website, if that makes any sense. Just leave this blank and it'll install it on the root domain name. Now, these are plugins. We don't need any of these at this time, so just go ahead and uncheck all of this. Next, click on next. All right, that's it. Congratulations, WordPress has successfully been installed. So now you can go back to My Sites or you can log into WordPress. So let's go ahead and log into WordPress. Welcome to WordPress. So the first thing I want you to do is actually log out because I want to show you how to log into your website so you know what to do going forward. Okay, so to get to this screen is very simple. You just have to go to your domain name, then you go to wp-admin. That's literally it. So every time you want to log into your website, yourdomainname.com/wp-admin, then you're going to be presented with this login screen. Just put in your username or email and the password that you set when creating your website.
All right, so we have our WordPress website set up. We are good to go. Now it's time to install the Kadence theme, various plugins. I'm going to show you a lot of professional backend settings to really help optimize your website to make it really effective for on-page SEO purposes. So let's continue.
Backend settings for your website. So once you log back into your website, the first thing I want you to do is come over here to users and go to all users. Now, what this page is, it just shows the different accounts that are available and active on your website. Obviously, you should have one, so it should be the administrator. And so the administrator means like this account has full access to the website. You can delete posts, you can delete pages, you can add pages, delete blog posts, whatever. You have full access. Now, you can come up here and go to add new. And with add new right here, you can set up a new account if you want with a new username, email. Now it has to be a different email. You can't use the same email as the administrator account. Set the password, and right here you can change the subscriber. Now you're like, why would I ever want to do this? Well, if your website ever grows and gets to the point where you're bringing on additional writers, you can go ahead and create like an author account, for example, and then someone who has an author account can log into your website. They can create blog posts, but they can't publish anything. They can't edit or delete any other blog posts other than their own. If that makes any sense. So that's kind of like why you would want to do that. Anyways, let me back out of this. Okay, now the next cool thing that you need to know is go ahead and click on the actual username. Okay, so once we scroll down here, this is where the email is. Right here, two essential things. So right here is where you can change your password if you want. Right here, you can set a profile picture. So if you click on this, what's going to happen is it's going to load Gravatar. And so Gravatar is a service by WordPress where you can log into Gravatar. You can link a picture to an email. So that's how you get it. So it's like this. You know, like when you see like a bio on a website and it's a little picture next to a little paragraph, etc. That's where that's being populated from by Gravatar. Now over here, biographical information. This depends on the WordPress theme and the WordPress theme settings, whether or not it displays a bio underneath a blog post or a page. But if you want to have that displayed, you can fill out this information right here. Okay. Now next, go to settings and go to permalinks. Okay, so permalinks literally means permanent link. So this is the URL structure of your website, and it's not something that you want to change willy-nilly, so to speak. So whatever you choose, you got to kind of stick with it for the long term. So the most popular ones that most people suggest are like post name, and that's pretty good because that's going to be your website / the name of the blog post. That's okay. What I personally like is I like to go to custom structure. I like to have / blog, then the post name. That's what I personally use here at websitecreatorpro.com. It gives a nice structure to the website, separating the blog posts from the pages. Totally up to you. There's no right way to do it. In my opinion, this is the most optimal way for most websites. They're going to be 300, 400 blog posts, generally speaking. Totally up to you. So I would suggest post name or this custom structure where you add in the blog. And now if your website gets really big, like really big, then you're gonna probably want to incorporate the your domain name / category / subcategory / post title. But that's for like a website that's like thousands of blog posts. So like that's not what we're creating. So totally up to you. The ones you want to avoid though are name and date and name and month and name. You don't want dates, okay? Unless you're publishing time-sensitive content, you don't want dates in the URL. It doesn't help, and you definitely don't want this plain one up here. So anyways, select your structure for your permalink. Once you're ready, click on Save Changes, and that's it. Deleting demo content. So with your WordPress installation, often with a web host, they're just going to install a bunch of things that you don't want. So anyways, let's get started. So we're going to go here and navigate down to where it says plugins, and we're going to find where it says installed plugins. Okay, so let's scroll down, and now we have a bunch of things installed, so we can just go ahead and delete a lot of this. So the Hello Dolly plugin, we don't need. The Akismet plugin, if you're going to have comments on your blog post, you're going to want that. So that's totally up to you. To install Akismet, it's very simply just click on activate, and then you have to get a key, and so that helps protect your website from comment spam. But again, totally up to you. I in general don't allow comments on any of my websites, and I'm not going to be allowing comments on this website, so I don't really need this. So let's go ahead and click on delete. Let's go ahead and delete Hello Dolly. And these two, this Bluehost plugin and this Creative Mail by Constant Contact, we don't need either of these plugins. So come here, select both, and then go ahead and click on deactivate. Click on apply. Okay, and then last, click both of them again, and then just go ahead and delete them. All right, so I'm going to leave Jetback because I personally like Jetback because it allows you to have related blog posts at the bottom of your blog post, which I'll show you how to do later in the tutorial. So we'll keep this one, and that's it. So now we want to install a few helpful plugins, okay? So for plugins, click on Add New. Next, go over here to where it says Search for Plugins and type in Yoast SEO. Okay, so what Yoast SEO is, it's just a plugin that really helps you improve your on-page SEO for your website. I really like it. I view it as an essential plugin. So anyways, just go ahead and click install now. And click on activate. All right, so now we have Yoast SEO installed. So we're going to install one more plugin. So go ahead and click on add new. And then I want you to type in Smush. Smush, literally S-M-U-S-H. Okay, and so right over here we have Smush, lazy load images. So what this plugin does is when you upload an image to your website, it automatically optimizes the file size, okay? And so it's like a more, just more optimized file size so your website loads more quickly. And it's completely free, and again, it just makes your website load more quickly, which helps with your on-page SEO. Anyways, go ahead and click on install and activate. All right, so now there is actually one additional plugin that I view as essential, but I'm not going to install it now. Now, it's definitely a plugin that you should install once your website's kind of finished in terms of design, but it's called W3 Total Cache, okay? The W3 Total Cache plugin. So this helps create a cache for your website, which just helps it just load more quickly. Now, because it creates a cache of your website, you don't want to have it install it right away as you're designing your site. It's going to be quite annoying. So make sure once everything is done, then go back here and install W3 Total Cache. Okay, so anyways, let's go to appearance and let's go to themes. Okay, so with our website, these are the themes that come pre-installed. So we're going to be installing the Kadence theme. So we want to add a new theme. Very simple. Come down here, click on add new theme. Okay, next navigate up top there and search for themes and type in the Kadence theme. So Kadence, and that's it. Okay, it's right here. Go ahead and click on install. And click on activate. All right, so now the Kadence theme has been successfully installed on our website. So if we go ahead and view the website, we can take a look at what the theme looks like. But one additional step I want you to take is just go ahead and delete these other themes from installation. It's just a good practice because you just want to increase the security as much as possible. So to delete a theme is very simple. Again, you just click on a theme that's not currently your active theme. And then right down here, you're going to see a little button that says delete. Just go ahead and click on this delete button. It'll ask you to confirm. Really that simple. And just do that for each one of these. So the only theme that you have installed is the Kadence theme. Designing our website. So now we get to the fun part where we actually can design our website. We have to do two small little things to set everything up. So the first thing I want you to do is navigate back to your dashboard, go down here to plugins and go to add new. Now we have to add in an additional plugin, and the plugin is called the Kadence Gutenberg block plugin, something like that. So it's Kadence, just type in Kadence, like the name of the theme, and Kadence has their own dedicated blocks that you can add on to Gutenberg. So right here, Gutenberg blocks by Kadence blocks. We want to go ahead and install this one. All right, go ahead and click activate. Great, so now Kadence blocks has been successfully installed. Now with our website, we're going to want to set a home page. We're going to want to design like a big, beautiful home page and then very, light, minimalistic blog posts. And so to get started designing a home page, we have to set a page to actually be the home page and a page to be the blog post page. So that's not too hard. So we have to come over here and then you navigate to pages and then go to add new. Okay, so just go ahead and call this the home page and go ahead and publish it. That's right, publish it. Even though it has no content, it's fine. Go ahead and publish it. We're going to be designing this page to be our home page. Okay, so now click the WordPress icon to navigate back to where we were. So now we have a home page and let's go ahead and add in a blog post page. So go ahead and type in blog and then again, go ahead and click on publish. Okay, so now the URL structure for the blog should be yourwebsite.com/blog. That's what you want. All right, so go ahead and click on the WordPress icon. Next, you want to navigate down to where it says settings, and then you want to head over to where it says reading. Okay, so your homepage displays your latest blog post. That's what's currently selected. So go ahead and select a static page. Now for the homepage, go ahead and select the homepage. For the post page, go ahead and select blog. Literally that simple. Go ahead and click on Save Changes. All right, everything's good to go. So let's take a quick look at our website. And fantastic. Okay, so now we have a really nice blank canvas to design our homepage on. So let's continue. Let's create a call to action and a hero image for our website. So if you're like, David, what are you talking about? Let me just open up Website Creator Pro right here. So we're going to be adding in a big, beautiful image and text overlay. So how do you do that with the Kadence theme? That's what I want to show you. So the first thing that you need to do is click on the edit page at the top. What that's going to do is just literally going to open up the page. Now we're going to be using the Gutenberg block editor, which is just a fancy way of saying the default block editor from WordPress. It's really good. Anyways, to get started, we click on the little black plus sign over there. And now I want you to find something that says row layout. Now, the reason why I had you install the Kadence block plugin is because row layout is a Kadence block. This is going to be your best friend in this tutorial video because we're going to be using this a lot to design elements on our homepage. So anyways, go ahead and click it and add it to our site. All right, so now you have a bunch of different options about what you want to add, the specific type of layout you want to add. I'm going to go here and add this split column design. There we go. Okay, so now you should have two blocks and you can click the plus sign in the middle right here. Now you can add in additional blocks to this block. Now if you mouse over just above the block, you can select the entire block. So what I want to demonstrate is that you can edit two things. You can edit the individual sections within the block, and you can edit the block itself. Anyways, let's go ahead and add in some type of like fancy title. So click over here, the plus sign, and let's go to advanced heading. So I'm going to add in a very tiny sentence and then like the main call to action. So I'll just say advice, and we'll say advice and guides. Okay. Now I don't want it to be that big, so we'll change it to H5. Okay. And now underneath this, I'll click the plus sign again, heading. Okay. So we'll just say the finest green tea from Vietnam. I don't know. That looks good. Now the thing I want you to do is change this from H2 to H1. Well, this is your H1 up top there, but we're going to be disabling the page title because we don't want it to say homepage on the homepage. That's a little silly. So don't worry about that. Make sure that's H1. Now, what I like about the Kadence theme right here is you can select this, typography settings, and you can change this to its own font family. You have a wide selection of different fonts you can play around with on your own time. I'm going to use Poppins, and I'm going to make the weight as heavy as possible, and I'm going to make the size maybe, I don't know, 50. Yeah, that looks good. Maybe a little bit bigger. We'll change it to 60. Yeah. All right, that looks great. All right, so let's take a look at that. Okay, so we got advice and guides up top there. Maybe I could change. Oh, that's a little too small. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and click on update. And let's reload the page, see how that's looking. All right, great. So advice and guides, the finest green tea from Vietnam. That looks really nice. You know, maybe we can make this a little bit bigger, but I think that looks okay. The finest green tea from Vietnam. Okay, so let me go ahead and make this actually a little bit bigger. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Excellent. Okay. So what do we need to do next? So the next thing that we need to do is we want to add in some type of like, we want to get rid of the home page. We want to add in a hero image in the background. How do we do that? Okay, very simple. So right over here, make sure you have this little page settings block selected, not the gear icon. You have to click the little, this thing, whatever it is, like the little thing. Anyways, so disable the page title, okay? Because that will get rid of this. Then we want this to be full width. So we want full width. Then we want the content style unboxed. We want vertical padding disabled. And we want the feature image disabled. Okay? So let's go ahead and click on update. And let's reload the site. And okay, so that looks good. That looks correct. Don't worry, but hey, it looks terrible. Like, I know. I know. Don't worry. I got you. All right, so the next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and add in some type of like image behind the text. Okay, so you click up top there, and then you want to find where it says the image right there, background image. Here you can upload your own image. So what I would recommend doing is doing something like unsplash background. Okay, Google unsplash background. So this is unsplash.com. These are completely free images. So if you type in something like, for example, I'm going to make a tea blog, a tea affiliate website right here, come down here. It's like, oh, amazing and completely free. Yeah, and so there's tons of good images you can find and use on your website. So it does take a little bit of time to find the appropriate image. Anyways, once you find the appropriate image, make sure to right click, open it up, okay? And then edit it in your favorite picture editor, okay? And then you want to resize the image. So this image is currently 1,300 by 800. The reason is because Unsplash images are usually like gigantic in size, like 5,000 by 5,000. They're way too big. They will make your website load slowly, so don't use them. So just resize it. Next, you want to make sure to like call it like a tea blog, something like that, like something that's related to your website at all times. Anyways, let's go ahead and drag and drop this into place. All right, so the alt text, I'm going to put it in tea blog, and we'll get rid of the title right here. And then we'll click on select. And there we go. So let's go ahead and click on update. Let's go back here. Let's reload the site. And that is looking really good. Okay, so there are a few things that we can kind of adjust and change. So first off, what I want to do is like, why is it all the way on the left side? How do I fix that? It's so easy. So you click here, okay? Or sorry, you click above and then you click this arrow section right there. Content with max. Here is where you can kind of adjust things so it fits a little bit better like that, you know, so you can play around with it. So there's no right setting, just gotta eyeball it, play around with it, adjust it as you see fit, and that's looking good, okay? And so maybe we can kind of click the block right there, come to the very bottom. Let me just pull it down just a little bit, not too far like that, but like, yeah, there we go. You know, just a little bit of breathing room. Let's go ahead and do that. Reload the site. All right, so that's looking really nice. Now maybe we can add in a little bit of an overlay on the image so the text is a little bit easier to read. So again, gotta just perfectly click like right above the block. It's a little tricky. Anyways, all right, so there we go. Okay, so now let's back out of this. We don't want the page settings. What we want is we want the gear icon, and we want the gear icon because we want the block settings. So right down there, background overlay settings. So again, what I did was I clicked the background image, not the block, the background image. Then I made sure I'm in the gear icon because the gear icon is where you adjust your page and your block. Now I'm under the little block tab. So we want the overlay. So common sense, overlay. Wow, there it is. Okay. And so here we can adjust the overlay. So color overlay, we don't have a color selected. So we can select a black, we can select a light color. So that's a little too much. So we can like kind of reduce that down, but just like maybe just like a little bit like that, maybe just a pinch, like just, yeah, there we go. Just whatever, okay? All right, let's reload the site. Great, so it's very subtle, but it's a nice change. It makes the text a lot easier. And that's it. It's really that simple. So now you have a lot of flexibility with this design. So now you have this complete other block section. You can also add in additional blocks underneath. So like if you want to add an email opt-in form over here, you want to add in a button, you want to add in a button underneath there, you know, very simple. You can just come down here again, click the thing right there, the plus sign. You can type in button, okay? And then you can add in a button if you want to go that route, or you can just leave it as is to have this really nice call to action. You can make the text bigger if you want, like, hey, well, maybe I should make it just a pinch bigger, make it like 65 or 66, you know, click on update, and it's really that simple. Okay, so now you have a lot of design flexibility. Now this has to be H5. Unfortunately, it is a quirk with the way Kadence is set up. So if you change this to like a paragraph text, it won't work. It'll push everything down. So that's the only one that I found that really works well with this design. Otherwise, this looks great. Like, this looks really nice and professional. And so we're good to go. So, you know, if you want to continue adding more elements to the top, you can do that. But we're going to continue developing the homepage. So let's carry on with it. Adding in a featured in section to our website. So in general, the way I design any type of affiliate website is I like to make the homepage into a visual menu where I show the latest blog post, the most popular blog post, any type of buying guides, anything that would be really helpful for the end user. But with design, you want to make sure to kind of break images up as possible. See, it's like how here it's like a white section with text, and then we get into like nice images right there, and then a little bit of white, then back to like another colorful image section. So you don't want to overwhelm people with like too many images. Like if these two items right there were right underneath this, it looks weird. It looks weird. So you want to make sure to go ahead and like, let's break this up before we add in another colorful, helpful section. So let's go ahead and add in a featured in section. So for example, like maybe your website's been around for a year, you got some links from some notable websites. You can say, hey, I was featured in these websites because they linked to me. So first thing that you need to do is click the plus sign and go to advanced heading and keep it as H2, and then just type in featured in colon. There we go. Now let's go ahead and center that text. Now the reason why we use the advanced header feature is because, again, I can click on this A sign and we can just reduce the size of the text. So to be careful because it jumps around when you change it. So there we go. So I'll increase this, I'll make it 22. That looks good. All right, so featured in, there we go. Now we need some images, all right? So we need some logos. So go ahead and click on plus, and then we want the advanced heading. So Kadence really likes this word advanced with everything. Advanced heading, advanced layout, advanced this, advanced that. I don't know why. So anyways, we want to type in advanced, there we go, advanced gallery. There we go, click it. Okay, so now we need to add in some images. So I'm gonna click on upload gallery. Now this is a bunch of images I've already downloaded. These are logos with a transparent background. Make sure they are the same size. These images tend to be 250 by 250. So if you're gonna do this section, you wanna make sure the images are all the same size so they all fit correctly. Anyways, let me go ahead and click on open. And there we go. So the images are loading. Good. And there we go. So that's a little bit weird. So let's change the column design. We want this to be 4 items right there. We can change the gutter a little bit. And there we go. So now come down here, thumbnail size. Oh, that's a little big. We want them to be a thumbnail, so they're a little bit small. And that's it, okay? And so for this section, you can add in whatever you want. So maybe if you're not featured in any like specific website, you could just say, on-time delivery or highly rated here, or just put something, something helpful to just break up the website. So let me go ahead and update the site. Let me reload this. And there we go. Okay, that looks great. So we got the call to action up top there. Boom. We got this right here with the logos for the sites we were featured in or potentially featured in. Again, just create a section that's white, maybe uses images, just break it up. So now the next section is we're going to add in some of our buying guides that we create for our website. Adding in a helpful buying guide section. So as you're creating your website, over time you're going to be creating what I call like money posts. I think most people call them. They're those kind of blog posts that are targeted to kind of help people but also make you money, like 10 best drones for YouTubers. So you can make a really helpful blog post on that specific topic, but then make money by being an Amazon associate and promoting, some type of like offer, product, etc. That's what I mean by money posts. That's what you can do with buying guides. Make insanely helpful guides. Anyways, how do you do that? So let's continue down. Boom. Click the plus sign, and we're going to be going to our best friend row layouts. All right, so now we're in row layout. I'm going to do the same exact thing where I'm going to have 2 equal blocks. Click those 2 equal blocks. There you go. So first thing, I'm going to click a little bit above, okay? And so make sure to have the gear icon, and then come down here to background settings, okay? And background color. So let's click on this, and I'm going to change it to one of these default like light gray colors. It looks so good. Yeah, we'll change it to, which one? Which one, that one or that one? We'll go with that one. I think that looks a little bit better. Okay, so now we got a nice little color there. And so we can come here, click on the plus sign. Again, same process. So advanced heading, just give it a heading. So H2, so we'll just say, I don't know, Master T Buying Guides. Okay, and then again, let's adjust the font size so it's a little bit big and bold, not too big, but maybe like would make it just a bit. There we go. I would do 44. There we go. Okay, so we'll click on again the plus sign. Let's click on this and kind of push it together just a little bit. All right, there we go. So click on it down underneath here. Now paragraph. So helpful paragraph that explains what the website is about goes here. So that's literally what I would do. I would go through the process and add in a helpful kind of welcome message to the website. So explain like, hey, welcome to the site. Here you're going to find the best guides about XYZ 123 topic, that sort of thing. And you could even go ahead and add in a little bit more design elements. So we can click here, plus, and we can go to divide. There we go. So we have this right here, spacer, divider. All right, so actually come over here just to make sure that's the right one. Come down there. And where is it? There we go. We want the separator. Okay, there we go. So that looks good. So now we got that little line right there. We can come down here and we can change it to maybe a black or something like that, or maybe like a light color that kind of blends into the site. Maybe give this a little bit of space right there. There we go. So let's go ahead and click on update. Let's see how that is looking. Make sure everything looks all right. So master T buying guides. Yep, good. So we got that right there. We got a little bit of a paragraph right there. Great. Now let's add some stuff over here to make it a little bit more useful. Let's add in the actual buying guides. So what do I recommend doing? Click the plus sign right there. And again, your best friend, row layout. Okay. Now we want the 2-column design. So now we have one big column, then we have 2 little columns right there. And I think that layout kind of looks good in my opinion. So click the plus sign. And now we want to type in info. Okay, so we want info box. That's a Kadence box, info box. There we go. Click this. Same thing. Then we type in info box. There we go. So do you want to add another one underneath? Yes, no, you can. So you just click the plus sign, follow the same process as before. Info box, and then right there, again, info box. There we go. Okay, so now with each of these individual boxes, they're great. Like I love this Kadence block. It's so helpful, looks great, and you can really adjust it to your liking. So right over here, the link, this is where you can kind of set a link. So if I want to link to say a specific URL, we'll just type in the homepage of the site. We'll just leave it like that. So I can link in content, I can have it the entire box link, or I can have the only learn more text link to it. Totally up to you. So if I have it like that, only learn more text links to this. Anyways, let's go to container settings. And so container background, we want to change this and go where it says hover. Okay, hover means like when someone mouses over it. So you want this to have some type of animation. So we want this to be white. So when I mouse over it, boom, look how good that looks. Very subtle, very simple thing. And you just want to go ahead and do that for each one. So click this, go to container settings, hover background, white. And then this one, boom, 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 and white. There we go. And one more time. Hover background and white. All right. So let's go ahead and update that. Let's see how that is looking. All right. So I think that's coming out quite nice. So we have a very helpful section right there. So we can maybe make this a little bit bigger. And we could increase the font size of that. Like maybe up to 60. There we go. Kind of really stand out. Highlight this. Maybe I can go ahead and change the font there as well. Instead of inherit, we'll change it so it matches the top one. Don't have it be 900. And there we go. Yeah, that looks good. So we'll reload that. Let's take a quick look again. See how subtle a text change is? It looks way better. So there we go. So we have our section up top there, and now we have these nice helpful boxes that people can mouse over. And we can link to various things that we want. So as you create a blog post that's authoritative on a specific topic, I would link to it there. So I'd give the title and adjust everything that's required. How do you change the title? You can just click it. Okay, then you can click it and just change the title as you want. All right, so a couple more things. Let's continue on with this. So right here we have media settings. So media line top, media icon type, or media type is the icon. So right here, if you wanted to change this little icon and you want to change it to say an image, you can change it to an image. And then you can upload your own image. Obviously, it's going to have to be a small image, like 100 by 100 pixels, something like that. But that's how you change it. Or you can change it, keep it as an icon. And if you don't like this symbol right there, X out of it, click the drop down arrow and select something else. It's not that hard. So anyways, let's type in like I don't know, T, let's see what comes up. All right, so this section is usually typically best for like any type of like graphics or images as appropriate. So we'll just click on that one. Okay, so again, just go through this and adjust each of these little images as appropriate. Okay, so title settings, let's take a look. So we want this to be H2 or H3 typically. I personally, because this is H2 over here, I would go in and make each one of these boxes H3. So let me just go ahead again, title settings, let's go to H3. On your own time, you can just adjust each one of these to H3 and then change the icon to your liking. Okay, so let's come up there. Let's minimize the title settings. All right, so learn more settings. What is that? So if you toggle it on, then you have a learn more button. And so that's what they're talking about up top there. Like, for example, you can adjust whether or not you want this entire box to be clickable, or you only want the learn more option to be clickable. So for example, if I have it be the entire box is clickable, if I'm going to have the entire box clickable, then I don't need to have learn more. So we update that, reload the page. Okay, and so see, I can mouse over it and click on it, which is fine. I personally would have the entire box be clickable because you can adjust the hover background color. And so this gives the user an indication that, oh, I can click on this. So it's like, there we go. So it's linking to the homepage. You can have it linked to whatever you want. If you want to have it be an affiliate offer or whatever, you can go ahead and do that. So that's it. Okay. So just fill out the section as appropriate, add images, change the icon, fill out the title, fill out the little paragraph, short and sweet. Just give one sentence. Then over here, definitely explain what your website is about. Welcome people to the website, buying guide for tea made easy. Here you'll find advice and guides and resources on how to brew fantastic tea at home, like whatever, that sort of content I would put in right here and try and like kind of balance it out. So have like a little bit of a helpful paragraph that kind of is the same length as these boxes. Again, you can click up top there right above everything to select a box, and so there we go. There we go. So again, you can adjust things as appropriate right there. So if you want to have it a little bit wider, say, oh, that's a little bit too narrow, easy. Just adjust it as you like. Okay, it doesn't need to be squished together like that. See, if I want to adjust it, have a little bit more space. That's simple, okay? And so that's it. So you are good to go. Adding our latest blog post to our website. So right underneath this buying guide section, which will have our most authoritative blog post that we've written, where we're really promoting a product really well. It's really helpful for the end user. Underneath this, I kind of just want to show my latest and greatest blog posts. So how do you do that? Very easy. So come down here and let's click on the plus sign. Okay, so now you have two options. You can either give its own little header, or you can just have the actual blog post show up. Totally up to you. I'm personally just going to have the blog post show. So I'm going to go in and type in blog, literally. Now we have the Kadence block right here that says posts. Go ahead and click on that. And there you go. Literally that simple. So I went ahead and actually added in 3 demo pieces of content. Okay, so anyways, let's go here to the block settings, and over here you have a bunch of different options. So here you can change the number of items to show. I personally like to show 3 blog posts on the homepage, 3 or 4 max. Don't want to have too many. Totally up to you. If you want to have 6 and you want to have like a nice little grid layout, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, so here you can filter by the category and tag if you want. I typically don't bother with that. Now we have the layout settings right there. Columns, tablet columns, style box. Definitely leave it as boxed so it looks nice. Image settings, so here we can enable the image if we want. Definitely just leave the image ratios so all the images are forced to be the same size when displayed. Title size, H2 is appropriate for this. Meta settings, so we can hide the author if we want. We can enable the author, whatever. So I'm going to kind of leave this as is, but if you want to change this off, like turn this off, you can. So enable meta info, you want to turn it all off, you can go ahead and do that, and you can leave the category. Completely up to you. Okay, so content settings, enable excerpt. I almost never have enable excerpt because just not that useful. So I'm just going to leave it like this. Let me go ahead and click on update. Let me come back to the home page. Let's reload the site. And that looks great. Like that looks really fun and interesting. So we got a nice looking website. So we have these big, beautiful blog posts where you mouse over it. People can click on it to jump into the image. Nice little, just little fine details like that. Like it's a little bit of a drop shadow underneath. I really like it. So again, if you want to add in like a title section right up top there, again, you can just add that to the top. I would, again, just add in like a heading, advanced heading, H2, blog post recently published, whatever. You don't have to do that, totally up to you, but I just like the way that this looks. So I'm going to leave it like this. Now the last thing we're going to do is add in an email opt-in form to our website. Adding in an email opt-in form to our website. So let's get to it. So right at the bottom there, right above the footer, let's going to look great. So to get started, click the plus sign, and no surprise, our best friend, row layout. We'll do the double column thing right here. Now, the way I'm going to set this up is a little bit different. I'm actually just going to go ahead and add in a big, gorgeous image right there. So we're going to just click on image, and I'm going to go to my media library and select one of the images I've already uploaded. We'll use the default one. I'll click on select. All right, that looks good. I'll come over here and I'll click on the plus sign, advanced heading, and I'll just type in something. So brew something special that you'll love. All right, so we'll go ahead and center that. Okay, and we'll leave it like that, or maybe I can, again, like always, make the font size a little bit bigger if I want. We can maybe make it just a little bit bigger. That you'll love. Okay, that looks good. All right, and then click the plus sign there, paragraph. So call to action for why someone should join your email list. Give a reason to someone. There we go. Okay, and we can go ahead and center that text too, perhaps if we want. Let's go ahead and click on update and see how that looks. And there we go. So that looks great, actually. So right here, we can go ahead and add in our email opt-in form. All right, so we come over here. This is ConvertKit. This is my demo account. And so again, kind of all the same with depending on your email provider. So again, go to create new form. We want a form over here. Now we want a inline form. Okay, so we'll click on that. And we want a simple form. Okay, so we want something simple like Mills or Claire or something like that. So I really like Claire because it doesn't have any items. So we'll just, what I mean by any items, doesn't have any fields. Like has one field. Yeah, that looks good. Looks good to me. All right, so let's go ahead and embed this form. And so what you need to do is click on HTML. I know you're like, well, why not WordPress? Like, because it requires a ConvertKit plugin. So we're going to use the HTML form. Click on copy, right click, copy. There we go. Navigate back here. All right, navigate down, click on plus, and then type in HTML, and then custom HTML, copy, paste that in. There's the form. Let's go ahead and click on update. Let's go over here, reload the site, and there we go. Okay, so it's literally that simple. So again, you can write a little bit more of a compelling call to action to give a reason why someone should subscribe to the list. But there you go. Okay, so now you have a nice little email opt-in form right there. So again, if you want a little bit more space above this one, you can go ahead and do that. You can click on the plus sign, kind of push it down a little bit. So again, adjust everything as you see fit. So let's come down there, come down there. Yeah, see, push it down a little bit. So maybe just, yeah, I think that looks fine. Maybe one more time. There, okay, we'll leave it like that. And that's it, okay? So that's how you kind of add in an email opt-in form to your website and put it in the bottom, make it visually appealing. This looks really nice, okay? So how easy was that? Like, this is a very nice, professional looking website. This took no time to make with the Kadence theme. So here's our latest blog post, email opt-in form sitting pretty at the bottom. Now the next thing that we need to do is adjust the header. So let's get to it. All right, so now let's go ahead and adjust our header. So to get started, we have to click on the Customize tab, not the Edit page, the Customize tab. And so this is going to be the WordPress Customizer, and every single WordPress theme has their own specific features that allow you to visually edit your website from the front end. So yeah, I know it could be overwhelming a little bit, but the thing we want is the header, okay? It's right there. Click on the header. Now up top, right down here, is where we have our option to move things around. Now, you want to keep things in this middle row here because it gives a nice white space above and below the item. So for example, like if I move everything up top there, let me move it up top there, you know, it doesn't look right. See that it crams it all together. So I definitely don't recommend that. So first thing, you want to leave your logo off to the left over here. Then you want to take your primary navigation, and I'm going to move that right in the middle of the website. Then over top here, all the way at the end, I'm going to go ahead and add in a button. So, oh no, I can't see the button. So just click this one, and I'll click on button right there. All right, so then we'll drag and drop it over there. And there we go. All right, so now you can edit and adjust everything as you like. So to change the logo, we can click on this, and then you have your options to change the logo. So for example, I can change this to T blog. Okay, I'll just leave it as the T blog right there. Now, if you want to add in a site logo, you can do that right here. Okay, so the logo layout, you can have the logo and title, and tagline. So really just depends on how you have your website set up. So if you have the logo, it'll just show the site, like the logo will just be the image. So right now I don't have an image. So logo and site and title, this is the title. So again, if you want to add an image to it, you can. If you want to have your own custom, logo, you can go ahead and do that and select logo right there and add a logo as appropriate. Now the design over here is where you can kind of change things about the way the text looks. So right now you can have inherit right there, but if you don't like inherit and you want something else, like I like pop-ins, like I'm using pop-ins on everything, so it makes sense to have it match. And then we'll make this 900 nice and bold, or maybe 800, so maybe not that heavy. You can just adjust everything as you want. Very, very easy at the click of a button, okay? All right, so that's kind of it for the logo, what you really can do. So definitely recommend uploading an icon if you want, or just leave it as is. It looks nice in my opinion, just like that. Anyways, the primary navigation is right over here, so we can click on this. All right, now here you can change the item spacing. So you're like, what does that mean? So if you want to spread everything apart, you can do that. So typically I like to give it a little bit of space, maybe not that much, but like 209, that looks good. Now this is being powered by a default menu, so we actually don't have a menu selected, so we absolutely need to go ahead and adjust that at next. Okay, so we're gonna like adjust the menu and whatnot. So let me go back here. Okay, so we'll go back to header, and again click on the settings right there, and that's it. Okay, so stretch menu if we want, we can do that. And so click over here to design, and here's where you can kind of change the way things look. So we have navigation background, navigation colors. So again, we can kind of just change it to be a different color if we want, have it stand out a little bit more. So when we mouse over it, it's blue. So we change it to, like, see, for example, like if that's gray, see, I can't really read that. So leave it as black, leave this as black as well. Now this middle one, have this match whatever the color of your website is, okay? So for, or like whatever the color of your hyperlinks are. So whatever you decide to use, whatever color you decide to use, that's what you want to adjust here. Okay, so anyways, that's it for the menu, okay? It's very simple to adjust. Now for the button over here, same process. Click the little gear icon, and over here, you can change the label. So you can say like subscribe, buy now, whatever. Like subscribe, something like that, or buy now, or whatever. You can have the button to link to an important page, a course, whatever you have set up. Then with design, again, you can change the button to different sizes, what you want, large, big, etc. I personally like the way it looks as medium. Change the color at a click of a button as well. And so we have the background color and the color. So this is going to change the text. So I want to change the background color first. Let's make it like a nice bright blue. Really bright blue like that. Maybe not that. That's a little too bright. Let's tone it down a bit. Okay, let's a little bit more blue. There we go. Okay, that looks good. We can change the color. I'll select on black, and okay, I think that looks nice. And there we go. So now we've successfully added a button. You have the button radius, the font, everything set to inherit. So if you really want to change the font style to something else, you can. So totally up to you. And then that's it, okay? And so we come down here. So let's come up here to general, and then the URL. URL is where the button links to. So the URL, you just put it in right here, okay? So you literally just want to type it in, okay? So it's not that hard. All right, so if it's on your own website, it should open in the same tab. If it opens to a different website, then that's when you'd want to have it be open in a new tab. If it's an affiliate link, then you want to set it to no follow. If it's a sponsored link, then you want to have it be set as a sponsored link. If it's set to download, that's why I really like Kadence theme. All these little details are kind of baked in. It's really nice. So anyways, that looks good. So we're going to go ahead and publish. Okay, let's X out of this. Okay, and that looks good. So we have a nice logo, we have the menu right in the middle, and now we've successfully added a button to our website at the top. Looks great. So the next thing that we need to do is actually adjust the menu. How do we set this to be something else? So let's continue. Adjusting the menu on our website. So let's get to it. So navigate back to your WordPress dashboard. Find where it says appearance, click on where it says menus, and here is where you can create a menu. So for the menu name, I'm just going to call it main menu. So I know which one it is. And now we have add auto pages, primary, secondary, mobile, footer. All right, so this is actually the primary menu. So we're going to have this be the primary menu, create menu. There we go. Okay, so now we can begin adding things to our menu. So you can add pages or blog posts. So what I suggest doing is add in like your about page, contact page, blog, that sort of thing. So first off, we actually need these pages because we don't have any pages on our website. So we have the blog page and we have a home page, we have privacy. So first off, let me go ahead and delete this sample page. We don't need that anymore. So we have blog, and we're going to go ahead and add in an about page. And we're just going to call it about for now. Just get it up there. So go ahead, let's add a new page. We'll call it about. There we go. Click on publish and publish. There we go. Okay, so let's navigate back to the main page. There we go. Add a new again, and let's add in a contact page. So let's say contact. There we go. Click on publish and publish. All right, so now we have about, contact, and let's add in a page maybe called like resources or something. Maybe we have some type of like helpful guides, resources, products we want to promote, just something that's really helpful for the end user. So just type in resources. There we go, and click on publish. All right, that looks good. So let's click on the WordPress logo again. Now let's navigate back to appearance, go back to menu. Okay, so now we can go ahead and click, and yeah, sure, add all, whatever. Let's go ahead and add these all to the menu. All right, so let's click on view all, and let's also find where it says blog. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna move this up top there, and so you can adjust these as you like. So we click the little drop down, and I don't want that to be lowercase, I want that to be uppercase. So we'll change that to blog like that. Resources, about, contact. Now you can create a drop down in WordPress, very simple, by moving the item right there and like right there. And that's going to create a drop down for blog. So if you ever want to know how to do that, that's how you do that with any WordPress theme. Anyways, let me move this back there and back there. Let me go ahead and click on save menu, and let's take a quick look because we set this to be the primary menu, and there we go. So that's how you adjust your menu at the top of your website. Adding a footer to our website. So let's navigate back to the bottom of our website. This is our footer. So it looks okay. I mean, this is the default footer, but we can definitely like level this up and make it look way more professional and trustworthy in a few minutes. So let's go ahead and do exactly that. So go ahead and click on the Customize tab. All right, now I want you to navigate to where it says footer. There we go. So let's navigate back to the bottom. Here's our copyright. Click the gear icon. Here's where you can change everything. So if you want to get rid of like the WordPress theme, Kadence, WP, you can change all that right here. So I'm just going to leave it as is. Now, right up top here, we have 3 spots, and I'm going to use these 3 areas. Now, if you click on the little gear icon, you can adjust everything. So you can make it like 5 columns or 4 columns. I'm going to leave it as 3 columns, and I'm going to change the layout. So I'm going to change the layout so this box area is a little bit bigger than these 2. All right, so let's go ahead, click on the plus sign, widget 1, click on the plus sign, widget 2, and last is widget 3. So let me go ahead and actually just click on widget 3. Let me drag and drop it there, just so I know what's going on with the site. Okay, so that looks good. Let's click the back button. All right. So now if you click the widget icon right there, you can add a widget. You can add in archives, audio, calendar, all this good stuff. But the one thing that's missing is the thing that I want, which is the text widget. So let's go ahead and publish. Okay, so let's X out of this and let's scroll down. Okay, so now everything's widgetized. So to add widgets, come back to your WordPress dashboard, go to appearance, and then click on widgets right over here. And right here, let's minimize that. So we have footer 1, 2, and 3, because that's what I've activated on the site. So let's go here, drop down, then come here to text, drag it into place, leave it there. Then for this widget 1, I would give some type of like little explanation of the site, or maybe like an affiliate disclaimer, whatever. So I'll just say brewing tea has never been so easy. There we go. And I'll add in a quick little bio of the website. Let me go ahead and click on save. Let's reload the website. And there we go. So we have a nice little bio right there. All right, so I'm going to minimize this. And so footer 2, what do we want to else add? Maybe I want to add in something called, I don't know, company. Then we'll have bullet points. So it should be like a submenu for the website. So about, contact, resources, FAQ. Okay, so now to add links is simple. So again, like you would just want to navigate up top there, open the about page, take the about page link, highlight this, right click, copy, okay? And then you just take this, highlight this text right there, click this little icon, input your URL, click paste, click apply, click on save, and that's it. And so that's how you add the links to your footer. So let's reload the page. Let's take a quick look. All right, so now we have a nice about link right there. It looks great. So we have this right here, the little introduction paragraph. We have company, about, contact, resources, FAQ, whatever's applicable to what you're doing. And then one more section. So we'll come over here to footer 3. We'll take the text box, navigate up. There we go. Okay. And last is legal. Legal. There we go. Okay. So right here, privacy, terms of service, okay, disclosure, and I don't know, copyright. There we go. So again, same process. So you have to create a privacy policy page, create a terms of service page, create a disclosure page, highlight it, click the link, then input the URL of the page in, and that's it. So let me go ahead and click on save. Let's go ahead and reload the site. And that looks good. So we can make it a little bit better. Like, why don't we change the color so it's not white? Maybe add in some social media links right there. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to click on customize again, and we're going to navigate back to our footer section. There we go. Navigate down. All right, so social link buttons, I'll just drag and drop, put it right there. Awesome, that looks great. Okay, so for the social buttons, so again, footer, then we have our social buttons right there. Click the gear icon and then click the drop down. And then right here is where you can change where it links to, okay? It's really that easy. Okay, so let me back out of this. All right, so this is our footer. We can come over here to design. Then we can change the footer background. Then I can change the design color. So I want to make it like a light gray or match the website. I could do whatever I want like that. I think I'll leave it this really light bluish gray color. I think that looks really nice. So let me go ahead and click on publish. And that is it. So let's X out of this. Let's scroll to the bottom of our website. And there you go. Very simple, okay? Nothing fancy, but it looks way better than before. And that's it. That didn't take that long. That's how you make a nice looking footer for your website. Adding a favicon to our website. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this little W sign that stands for WordPress to our own custom icon. And I'm also going to show you just how to add an icon to go along with your logo if you want. So anyways, what I first suggest doing is navigating to canva.com, completely free website. This is where I create all my thumbnails for. And within here, you can just create various graphics. So let's type in YouTube. We're going to use the YouTube thumbnail setting. And let's click on create a blank thumbnail. There we are. Okay, so navigate over to elements and then type in like something that's related to what your website's about. So for example, this blog is about tea. So let's pick a tea related item that's free. This looks great. All right, so make that right there. That looks wonderful. So let's go ahead and download this as a PNG. Okay, there we are. And so let's drag and drop this to our desktop. Okay, so now it needs a little bit of work. So let's go ahead and open up Microsoft Office, edit, crop. So let's crop this white area in, crop this area in, that in a little bit, this in a little bit. So we want to make sure it's like proportional. So let's stretch the sides out so it's 553. So everything's kind of even. There we go. Okay, click OK. There we go. So now let's resize this. We don't need this image to be that big. Okay, we can make it a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. There we go. A little bit more. Let's get down to like 240. Okay, there we go. We'll click on save and there we go. All right, so if we navigate back to our website, so to add an icon, very easy. We go here to customize. And then you want to find where it says site identity right here. So let's click on site identity. Then we can select a site icon and then we can just drag and drop this into place. Okay. And let's go ahead and click on select. We'll say skip cropping. And there we go. So now we have a nice image. Now, one little thing is like, see if we click off the tab, see how it says it's like a little bit of a white, it doesn't blend in. That's because it's not transparent. So if you want to make the image transparent, you can just go to this site where you can remove the background. And so we can upload any type of image there. Let's go to the image. There we go. And there we go. Perfect. So let's go ahead and download this image. Okay, and I'll drag and drop that there. Okay, so now we have a nice transparent image. So again, we can go ahead and change image and drag and drop that into place. Great. So we'll just get rid of that. I'll call this the Favicon. Click on select, skip cropping, and there we go. So now we have a proper icon for our website. Now, if you just want to add the other image to your logo, again, you can just navigate back to header. You can go to where it says your logo, then you can select the logo. So we can select that other image that we uploaded. I can take this one if I want. We can go ahead and select it. You can make sure to kind of crop the image in as appropriate. Okay, crop image. Okay, so now the image is really big, so we can just reduce the size of it so it kind of fits into the site. So if we want it like that, okay. And so again, that's how you do it. So if you want to play around with it, adjust it as you want to make sure it fits a little bit better. You know, maybe I could edit the image and have it have a little bit more white space on the bottom and then a little bit less on the top. Whatever. Again, this is just a trial and error type thing when you're adding in a logo. And so anyways, I'm going to go ahead and remove that, but that's how you add a logo if you want. But I personally like having the text logo. I think it looks totally fine. But anyways, that's how you add an icon to your logo. And more importantly, that's how you create a very professional looking favicon for your website. Your about page and contact page. So how do you design these two specific pages? So for your about page is about the website. It's not about you. So the way I typically like to structure my about pages is kind of like get to the point of like why the website exists, why it was created. Then I like to have a little helpful section about like how do you use the website, what are some helpful free guides, anything that you can link to, and then a little bit about the team or whatever if you want to include that. Maybe if you want to keep it anonymous, you don't have to have this part. And that's pretty much it. Okay, and so for the about page, keep it simple. Okay, call it about. The URL structure should be about, and just get right to the point about the website. So I just want to mention that briefly. You know, people overthink the about page. Sometimes they make the mistake of, you know, my name's David. I like long walks on the beach. Like, no, nobody wants to hear that. Keep it professional. Talk about like why the website exists, why it's helpful, why it's better than the competition, etc. Now for your contact page. The contact page is very simple. So here you can just give a nice welcome message, tell people what to expect when they contact you, link to an FAQ page if it makes sense, link to your, any type of social media links that you want. and then just again set the context. So I reply to emails in 24 to 48 hours, whatever you want to set it up. Now, if you want to add in a form, you can do that very easily within WordPress. So to do it, let's navigate back to our dashboard, and we're going to need to install an additional plugin. So we go here to plugins, and let's go to add new. Okay, so search for something called WP Forms. All right, so WP Forms is right here. Go ahead and click on install now and click activate. Great. So now let's scroll down here and let's go ahead and create our first form. Okay, so first off, I want to go navigate to the setup page right where we are, and what you want to click on is the simple contact form right here, because that's what we're trying to do. We just want a simple contact form. So let's go ahead and click on that. Okay, so now this is what our form is going to look like. And so if we want to adjust anything, you can click the label on screen and then navigate over here, first, last, whatever. I typically like to have name, email, message. Keep it simple, don't make it too hard. Now, next thing you can do is navigate over to settings. And so settings underneath notifications, this is where you can set everything up to where the email address receives the emails that people fill out the form. So right now it's set to the admin email, which means the email that you use to create your website. That's your administrator account. Now, obviously, if you want a different email, just go ahead and throw it in here. And then this will be the subject line every time someone emails you. And so, yep, that's it. That's how you really change it. That's all you really need to be paying attention to. And so right here, take a look at the fields, make sure everything is okay. Take a look at the setup, make sure everything's okay. So let's come down here to advanced options, and then here you have additional features if you want to have different size, if you want the field to be small, big, whatever. So I'm going to leave everything on medium. I think that looks okay. And so let's go ahead and click on save. Okay, and let's go ahead and click on embed. Okay, so I want to use a short code, so I'll take this right here, I'll copy that, right click copy just to make sure. Let's navigate back and let's go to our pages and navigate to the contact page. Okay, so text goes here. So again, this is where you can kind of write in how you want to be contacted, and then to add in your form is very simple. You click the plus sign, type in short code. Okay, there we go. There's short code, and then copy paste the short code in. Click on update. All right, let's click on page. All right, let's open up the website, make sure everything looks good. Great. So now we've successfully added in a contact form. Securing your contact form. So what do I mean by securing is like you want to protect your contact form from bots. And so the way I protect my form on websitecreatorpro.com is I have HCAPTCHA set up. So that means like only an actual person can email me, because what ends up happening if you just have it open like this is you're going to start getting spam email quite regularly, and it's quite annoying. So you're going to want to set up some type of protection. So to do that is, again, very simple. So first off, you have to navigate back to your dashboard. Now they have WP Forms installed. Go ahead and click on WP Forms, and then you want to navigate to where it says settings. Okay, so within the settings, you want to find up top here where it says CAPTCHA. Click on that. And then right here is where you can set up various types of CAPTCHAs, totally up to you. I personally like HCAPTCHA, so go ahead and click on that. Then the only thing you need to do is put in a site key and your secret key. That's it. So where do you get these two things from? Well, you have to create an account. You have to go to hcaptcha.com, log in, completely free, add your website, create a security form, and that's it. And then it gives you back the required information that you need, the site key and the secret key. Input these two items right over here, and that's it. And then your form is going to start displaying this little HCAPTCHA. Then your form is secure and you're protected from bots. How to write your legal pages. So to be honest, this is not that important with a brand new website because you don't have any traffic. Like there's no reason to worry too much. But as your website grows and becomes a business, like when you're making like $1,000 or more, I would say you definitely want to think about sitting down with someone and just crafting a privacy policy, terms of service, and disclosure page. Now within WordPress, you get a privacy policy already. It's set to draft, so you can go ahead and publish that and link to that if you want. But in general, let's cover like what are these pages? Why do you need them? So a privacy policy, the whole point of this is just to tell users what the information gathering process is for your website. That's it, okay? So like if you're collecting emails, okay, so like what do you have access to? Do you have access to their name, their email? Do you share that information with anyone? What about having any type of like analytics on your website to see how much traffic you get? Like that collects information. Like, is it identifiable? All that stuff you need to kind of disclose on the privacy policy page. Now we come down here, terms of use page. Terms of use just simply means like, what are people agreeing to abide by when they visit your website? And if they don't want to abide by it, how do they opt out? Usually by just leaving the site. So, you know, it's literally that simple, okay? And then let's come down here to the disclosure page. And the point of a disclosure page is to disclose and make certain interests obvious that otherwise might not be. So like you have to disclose, like if you're an affiliate, should disclose how your website makes money. You should disclose any conflicts of interest, etc. And that's why you kind of like, so that's why you want like a disclaimer disclosure page. Like if you're engaging in affiliate marketing, yeah, you're going to want to have a disclosure saying like, oh, you know, I use affiliate marketing when possible, blah, 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 that sort of thing. And so those are why you kind of need these legalese pages. And those, again, those legalese pages go in the footer of your website as we did earlier. Editing our blog post. So the Kadence theme and blogging go together like peanut butter and jelly. Like the blog archive and blog posts just look great right out of the proverbial box. We need very minimal amount of work. Anyways, so if we want to adjust this page, we want to navigate over to where it says customize. Okay, so now navigate down to where it says blog post. There we go. Now we have single post layout and we have archive layout. So this page is your archive layout. When you click a blog post and open it up, that's actually considered a single post. So let's change the archive layout over here. Now here you can toggle the archive title on or off. So this is the archive title. Totally up to you whether or not you want to have it on or off. Now if you want to change this, remember this is a page. Just log into your dashboard, go to your blog post page that you set to be your blog post page, change the title from there. But if you really don't want the title, you can just click this off and then there it goes, okay? So I'm actually going to leave it. So I usually like to have some type of blog. Again, not a big deal, totally up to you. And also you can change like where the archive title is as well. So if you want it centered over there, or if you want it off to the right, you can go ahead and do that. Now the container width, full width, contained, standard. So this is your container. I'm going to leave it as standard. Then we have the container minimum height over here. Then we have the option to add in breadcrumbs if we want, which I definitely would recommend. And so that looks so good. That looks very professional. Then we come down here. We have archive layout. We have normal, narrow, full width. Again, you can play around with this. You can even add in a sidebar if you really want. I personally would leave a sidebar off. I think this looks nice the way it is. Then we come down here. Now again, you can change the column archives if you want 2, 3, 4 at the click of a button. Now right down here, we can change what is shown. So personally, I would most likely, I'm not a big fan of having excerpts. That's just something that drives me crazy. Also the meta description, we don't really need that there. Just kind of minimizes. I like having the category there. That's a little bit helpful if someone wants to jump into the specific category for this blog post to find more content related to it. Again, up to you whether or not, but excerpt's not that important. And that's it, okay? And so we can just leave it like that. I'm gonna go ahead and click on publish. Okay, great. So let's X out of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up our first blog post. So there's a couple things I want to show you. Okay, so this is what a blog post looks like on the Kadence theme. Really nice attention to detail. Like I love the way the hero image, or the feature image, sorry, looks. But again, I personally don't use feature images on the actual blog post. Again, totally up to you. Now, what I like to do is I like to have the feature image be displayed when the user is on the blog because it grabs their attention, it looks good. But personally here, I don't find it that useful because it just pushes the content down. Again, your call, but I'm going to turn this off. So let's go ahead and click on customize. Okay, so now again, we go back to blog post, we go to single post layout. Now here we have show post title. Yep, we want to show the post title, post layout. We can center the text or have it be centered or off to the left, whatever. So let's go ahead and center the text up there and it moves everything up top there. Then the blog post is there. That doesn't look good. We're going to leave it the way it was. All right, so breadcrumbs. I love Kadence theme. Yes, finally, a theme that comes with breadcrumbs baked into it. Great. Awesome. All right, so now we have breadcrumbs there. So again, your call. Whether or not, if you have breadcrumbs, then I would turn off categories. If you have categories enabled, then I would turn off breadcrumbs. Again, up to you. I personally use breadcrumbs. You can view Website Creator Pro. That's what I do. All right, so we don't need, the excerpt we have off meta description. You can toggle that on or off. Now, one thing I don't like is I don't like that it has the date. It's a little annoying. I wish I could I want to show the author, but I don't want to show the date. So you don't have that control over that. So that'd be nice if that had that option to, toggle the date on and off. But again, not a big deal. So anyways, that looks quite nice. And then we come down here. Okay, so now we have default post layout. We have the sidebar. So if you want to add a sidebar right there, again, change the layout over here. So again, you can play around with this. Like if you want a different style of layout with the massive image like this, you want it to be more like full width, totally up to you. So anyways, I'm gonna turn it back to default because again, I like the way that this is laid out, where nice padding on the left and right, where it's a nice readable column. Anyways, let's continue down. All right, so show feature image, I'm going to toggle that off. And so I think I love this. I love that I can turn the feature image off when people are on the blog post, but keep it on when people are over here. That's perfect. And let's come down there, show related posts, show post navigation, yes, 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 and yes, and show comments. So I'm gonna have comments be off on my blog posts. And there we go. And so that looks great. So let's go ahead and click on publish. Awesome. So there we go. So that's literally it for what I would recommend for editing your blog posts. And like, you're really good to go with blogging. Now let's edit the blog post. I want to show you a couple little aspects that you need to be aware of when you're creating content. Okay, so right over here is your URL slug. So this is the URL of the specific blog post. Now, it's not important, but I generally keep my URLs short and sweet and to the point and try and incorporate only the essential words that are needed. Again, not a big deal. People have tested this and have long URL slug, short URL. It doesn't matter. What matters is the content. Again, I like to keep things nice and clean. Now, this is your H1 title tag right there. And then you can just start writing content. And then again, you have full access to the Gutenberg block editor. So if I want to do, again, like the row layout thing, and I want to do this, I want to come over here and I want to add in, say, like a, paragraph text like that there. So I could take this and like, there we go, paste that in there and do the same thing over here, paragraph over there, boom. You have a lot of functionality and with the Gutenberg block editor where you can just design the page any way you want. In general, I would keep things simple. Like, again, like if we go to websitecreatorpro.com, I keep things simple, okay? So I keep everything in a single column design, nice big title, breadcrumbs underneath, very readable text, nothing too fancy, overwhelming. So again, up to you. So anyways, let's continue on. So here, I would recommend breaking up your sections. Don't just have a wall of text like this. This is bad. You want to have like 2-3 paragraphs max, and then break it up. So then you want like a title, okay? So title goes here. So we take a look at that, go there, go to heading, make it H2, and then continue on writing. Now, if you have a subheading of this, okay, a subheading of this topic, then you go there, paragraph, and then we have subheading, and then we go here, and then we go heading, then H3, okay? So we take a look at like this Wix review. So we come down here and have a bunch of different aspects. So for example, this is an H2 tag because this section on the page is about blogging on Wix. Then this right here, this is a subheading. So this is H3 title tag. So that's H3, that's H2, this is the H1. There should only be one H1 tag on your website. And that's it. So last, I want you to make sure to navigate over to where it says post. Then you want to come down here where it says feature image. This is where you add in that big, gorgeous image. Okay, and that's it. And so where do you get images from? So there's plenty of places. A good starting point is Unsplash. So again, you can find any type of image that you want from this site. So for example, if I'm making a coffee blog, just type in coffee, you get a ton of images to use. And it's very easy. You just go here and download something, or download the image that you want. Just again, like make sure to resize it, because it's going to be like a 5,000 by 5,000 pixel image. Get it down to like 800 by 800. Okay. And then last, I definitely recommend using something like I would say Canva to help you make thumbnails or feature images for your blog post, because you can just set the same style right here. And notice how I add in Website Creator Pro, boom, the logo, and I help brand each piece of content. And so I do all of these with Canva. Very quick, very easy, because I don't want it's not like YouTube, okay, where you should spend like a lot of time on a thumbnail for a YouTube video. With your blog post, you want to spend a little bit of time, but not too much time. You want to get focused on getting the content out. So you want to, streamline and have a process for getting thumbnails quickly and easily. So what I personally do is I just use the YouTube thumbnail icon right over here. And then I upload typically an image from, say, Unsplash, or I'll add in an image that they already come included. So we can type in, say, coffee over here. Then, okay, that one looks good right there. Take that. Okay, so we can maybe add a filter to this, like maybe make it a little bit of a different color, something like that. So I'll go with this one, and then elements. Then we'll add in a square. Put it right down there, minimize it, move it off to the right, then go to text, and then add in text. So we'll type in, say, like my website, and there we go. And so again, with Canva, you can highlight the text and then come over here, Open Sans, change it to something else like Babas Nue, something like that, Poppins Bold, whatever. Pick the font that you're using for your website so everything kind of matches. So the font choice that you use right here should match the title font on your website. And the last thing to pay attention to are your categories. So we come over here to post, and then let's go to categories. Okay, so categories, you need categories for your blog posts. All your content has to be organized in a category. So the first one that you automatically get with your default installation of WordPress is uncategorized. So obviously that's really bad. But again, you want to create categories that are keyword rich and specific to your website. So for example, like Website Creator Pro, categories on this site would be like web hosting, website builders, domain names. Because that's what this website's about. And so, for example, if we come here to domains, and then we open up this piece of content, and then I navigate to the category. So this is the domain category right here. And this is all the content related to domain names. And what ends up happening with a website over time is that you can build out each of these individual subsections on your website to have a bit of authority. And so that's why you want to start off with like maybe 4 to 6 categories max. Personally, I would start with 4 categories, focus on getting like 20, 30 pieces of content at a minimum in each category. And then once you're at that point and you want to like branch out to something else, then branch out. Again, it depends on the type of site you're making, how broad or specific it is, what it's about. So there's lots of different things you can cover, but typically start with 4 good categories. And don't forget that you can click on the category section right here, and then you can edit everything over here. So you can have a name, you can edit the description, and then because you installed the WHOIS SEO plugin, you have the ability to edit the way the actual page looks. So if you look at the domain name categories, like category, domain names, like how is this being populated right here? Well, that's being populated by this section right here. So go ahead and write in like a sentence or two that helps describe what the category is for the end user. And that is all you really need to pay attention to. So make sure to have a good title that's keyword rich. Write your content, break the content up into 2-3 paragraphs. Each paragraph should be short and sweet. You don't want paragraphs that are overwhelming and very difficult like to read because they're walls of text. Make sure to break everything with H2, H3 title tags, H4 if appropriate. Now, if we come over here to the post section, your URL slug, keep it short and sweet as best you can. Categories, put your blog posts into one category, not two, not three. Make sure the categories are relevant. Relevant means like whatever subsection of your website would be about, that's a category. Okay, don't have it be like blogs or thoughts. Like those are not good category titles. We come down here, add a feature image. Feature images are very helpful when the user is on the blog archive. They're not that helpful when people are on the actual individual blog post page. Tags, I personally don't use tags, so I don't really worry about that. Now, if we come down here to add multimedia is very easy. So you click the plus sign, you can add an image to your website. You can use all these other various blocks. Again, this is why I really like the Gutenberg editor, because right here we have the Kadence blocks because we installed that Kadence theme plugin. Here, these green ones are powered by the Jetpack plugin that comes with your WordPress installation. Then all these black ones are the default blocks that come with the Gutenberg editor. And it's really that simple. So you can add in videos, Twitter, Vimeo, Spotify, Flickr, like whatever you want, okay? Adding video and images is very easy. Just like copy and paste. And I mean, YouTube is so simple. Like you just have a YouTube URL, you can just paste it in and then Gutenberg will automatically just populate the section with the video. And that's really it. Okay, so creating your blog post, that's really all you have to worry about. Now, one little thing, come down here and make sure that everything looks correct. So the way you want this structured should be the title of the blog post, page separator, and then name of website. Okay. And then your meta description is to describe the website, okay, or describe this individual blog post. And that's it. Now you can pay attention to the SEO right here. So put in your keyword phrase that you're focusing on with this piece of content. Make like, so for example, best coffee beans. Okay. And then so we come over here, take a look at the SEO for this. And then we come down here, SEO analysis. And it'll tell you things that you should address. So these are problems and that these are things that you should kind of fix. These are things that could be improved, and these are things that you're doing correct. Now, this is not like in stone where, oh, you have to get this to, a green smiley face, but it just gives you guidance on various little things that you could do to continually improve your blog posts. And that's it, okay? That's really all you need to know with how to properly structure your blog posts. Affiliate marketing for our website. So in this section, I want to just cover a broad overview about what you need to know with affiliate marketing. Now, all that affiliate marketing is just being an affiliate for a company and selling their product or service, and then any type of sale you make, you get a commission. And so what the person who's running the affiliate program or the company that's running the affiliate program gets is they get functionally free advertising. And so they get free advertising, they get exposure to a broader audience, then you as the affiliate get a commission. So there are a plethora of different affiliate programs. So first off, the most popular is the Amazon Associates program, which you can sign up to. Then you can promote products on Amazon and receive a small commission. Now, I want to mention that there are various clearinghouses that you can also join. Now, what a clearinghouse is just like a bunch of companies, run their affiliate program through a different website, through a clearinghouse. And so you create one account and then you have access to a wide variety of different affiliate programs. It depends on the company, okay? So CJ is a very popular one that you need to be aware of. Another one is impact.com. This is a very popular, usually by like web hosts. A lot of web hosts use impact.com. We have Rakuten advertising, for example. Udemy uses Rakuten advertising. And then we have Share a Sale. And so this is not as popular, but they still have a lot of various good programs. So for example, I promote TEFL certificates, teach English as a foreign language certificates through my large ESL website. And so that's all done through Share a Sale. And also companies can also have their own internal programs. So for example, like Bluehost is a good example where they have at the bottom right there, you can sign up to be an affiliate. And so down here, they have their own internal program once you sign up. So right there, affiliates, go through the process to sign up. You have to be vetted. Obviously, you have to have some type of traffic, etc. But again, not every company has their own internal program. For example, like Namecheap. Namecheap uses Impact, Radius. They have a bunch of, actually, they use quite a wide variety of programs. So we come down here, we have affiliates right there. And so it depends on the network, depends on the clearinghouse that you personally want to use with Namecheap. So again, right down here. So they have commission junction, share sale, impact radius. Depends on like which one you want to use, but they have a program on each one of these clearinghouses. Okay, and so to get started is very easy. What you need to do is first install a plugin called Pretty Links. So let's go to plugins and let's go to add new. Okay, so let's type in Pretty Links. There we go. All right, there we go. So let's go ahead and install it. And activate it. Okay, so once you activate it, you're gonna have Pretty Links off in the left-hand sidebar. So go ahead and click on that. All right, so now we can create Pretty Links. So we just go to add a new, and then right up top here is where we can add in our links, okay? So for example, we could just type in like the name of program. Okay, that's what I would do. That's what I personally do. Name a program so you can keep track of everything. And then the target URL is your affiliate link. So affiliate links are usually long and weird looking. So it's like website.com/track1234 equals affiliate ID 456, something weird like that. So you can take this long, weird affiliate link that you'll get from various programs, put them in Pretty Links, and then you can change it to the product, okay? Like something like yourwebsite.com/product. And it's sent to 307 temporary, which is a great redirect because it doesn't send any SEO juice to the program that you're linking to, because you don't want to, because it is an affiliate link. So that's perfect. But twofold. One, it creates more trustworthy links, literally Pretty Links. It lives up to the name. But more importantly, it allows you to update your affiliate links if your program or if your company program ever changes their platform. So for example, like I'm an affiliate for Teachable, and Teachable a month ago or so updated their affiliate program. They updated. They had their own internal affiliate program and they closed it down. They told everyone, hey, we're moving over to Impact. So you're gonna have to update your affiliate links. Now for me, very easy. All I had to do was log in, go to Pretty Links, and just change the target URL. And so I was still able to have websitecreatorpro.com/teachable, all right, like that. And then I could just change this section right there and I'm good. Because it would have been a nightmare if I had the Teachable affiliate link blasted across the site and I'd have to go through each individual blog post, each individual video, update the description. Like it's a lot of work. So that's one thing I like about Pretty Links. One, it makes actual pretty links that are trustworthy. Two, it makes tracking easy. Anyways, once you create the program, you can go ahead, let me change that to program. We'll just click on update. And just waiting on this. There we go. Okay. So now you'll have like your link title will be the name of the program. It'll show you how many clicks you have and then the link. And this is really nice because you can kind of track a little bit to see how many links this link is getting. So you can kind of understand how much money you're making depending on how many clicks the link is getting. Okay. And it also just helps you understand the Pretty Link that you have set up. So really nice, easy to understand. All right. So now let's take a look at Amazon Associates. This is a very popular program. It's it's a very good starter program, and there's people that make lots of money. Like I personally make thousands of dollars a month from Amazon Associates. So anyways, I really like Amazon Associates. So right here, you can search for the product title. So for example, like I have a tea website. If I had a piece of content that was like how to brew green tea how to brew matcha green tea in a Japanese style or something like that, like some really helpful content around that, then I could promote a tea kettle. If there's some type of product I could tie in, that's how it makes sense. So you kind of search for the product here and then you can get the link over here. When you click this icon right there, the get link, you're going to be looking at a page that's similar to this. So let me scroll down just a little bit. All right, so now we have our text and image, text only, image only. So text only. So we want to click on the short link, and this is your short link for Amazon. Now, do not use the short link with Pretty Links. You are not allowed to do that. You have to use the direct Amazon link. So for your piece of content, just find the item that you want to highlight. For example, you're talking about the tea kettle here, for example, just as a tutorial. You want to bold it, add the link in, copy, paste, then make sure it opens in a new tab. Literally that simple, okay? And so then you also want to consider adding in an image. So this is the structure that I find to be most effective. Is I usually like to find like name of product, okay, separate, and then description, okay, description, there we go. So then I would like make this like an H2, and then I would highlight this, and then I would go here, take that, boom, put the link in right there, okay, and then I would add the actual image to the site. So right there, we go to image only. Now we have our image right here, okay, very simple. We come down here, take this, copy. Now once we have that, we have to click the plus sign, and now you want to add in HTML, okay, custom HTML. Paste that in, click on preview. There you go. Now click it again, go here, and then convert to blocks. And you've successfully converted that to a block. Now I take that, take this, align right. And so that's how you add the image in and make it off to the right. And I find that this layout works really well. We have the name of the product there, name of the product over here as well. Now, in addition, you could also click here and you could also type in a little description. So learn more, click here if you want. You could do something as simple as that. And so this kind of layout, there's a lot of advanced plugins for Amazon Associates. This is something that's very simple that kind of works. I've tested out that works really well. Just boom, description, and then the image. Then you can make a whole list of products. But again, up to you. You don't have to do that if you want to have it be centered like that. Lots of websites do that as well. Again, it's your call. Now, with the clearinghouses, definitely recommend signing up to these various clearinghouses, but sign up when you know that there's a specific program you want to promote. So for example, if you want to be an affiliate for Namecheap, you want to sign up through Impact Radius, Commission Junction, Share Sale, pick one. You don't have to sign up for all three, but pick one. Then you can get your affiliate link that way, okay? Now, in terms of like actual content, so how do you go about like creating content? So I love this website that I found, DIY Smart Home Guide. Like this is a niche website all about smart home technology. And so they do a great job where they find the right pieces of content where it's like best smart home devices. Like that's a little bit of a competitive keyword. All right, so anyways, let me crack open my notepad. So with your content, you're gonna have to create content that, one, I would say like makes your site complete, okay? There's some piece of content you just gotta write because if you don't have it, your website's not complete. Like on websitecreatorpro.com, we come over here. I have a blog post on how to create a website and how to start a blog. Those are high traffic, very competitive, very profitable keywords. Am I ever gonna rank for these phrases? Not very unlikely, unless I want to run ads to these pieces of content. But without them, my site wouldn't be complete, because now whenever I create a blog post, I can mention like how to start a blog. I can link to my own internal page on how to start a blog. So I still benefit in an indirect way, but not from that free search engine traffic. Anyways, my whole point is that sometimes you're going to have content that is a little bit competitive, but your site's just not complete without it. Now, the second style of content that you can do is try and find questions that people are looking for, like smaller phrases. Not by smaller phrases, like maybe not is like high traffic, but something that people are looking for that would still be helpful. For example, like is my Amazon Echo dead or did it just stop working? It's like this piece of content's great. So like this specific phrase by itself is probably not that high traffic. Is my Amazon Echo dead or did it just stop working? But it's going to get a lot of traffic for Amazon Echo dead. Is my Amazon Echo dead? My Amazon Echo stopped working. How did my Amazon Echo stop working? Like all those random little phrases, over time, this piece of content will get traffic for. Okay, so you want to try and find like long tail. It's called like long tail keywords. I don't like this word long tail, but it comes from a graph where it's like you want to find like the very competitive stuff and then the longer tail stuff that's not as competitive. And so it's really helpful to kind of focus on that, because I think people get confused where they think like I'm trying to rank for this specific phrase. And it's like, no, you're going to get a lot of traffic for random other phrases that you're not even aware of. And so that's kind of like, you need to focus on that. So you need to focus on content that makes your site complete, focus on content that's long tail, and then also your money posts, as I call it. So for example, like a money post, this is a money post, best smart home device in 2021. So it's a bit of a competitive keyword phrase. Lots of people are trying to rank for best smart home devices, but it's not super competitive. It's not like crazy competitive where you'll never rank. So that's why it's a balance, because you want to start getting traffic to your website, and you do that by finding content like this. You make money by creating content like this, okay? Stuff that people are like, best smart home devices for, you could go a little bit deeper, like, and you can find like a phrase like, okay, let's just do that right now. Best smart home devices for Alexa, for the elderly, for Google Home, for Apple, for apartments, for Airbnb. It's like fantastic. So like best smart home devices for elderly. Like I didn't even think of that. That's amazing. Great. So for elderly people. And then I have something over here called keywords everywhere. Okay, so now we have a bunch of keywords. Smart home for elderly and disabled. Great. Best smart home technology for disabled people. Best. There you go. You're off to the races with that kind of money post content. And so that's the kind of content where you can help people and make money. And so then you can come back here to Amazon Associates or whatever, try and find helpful products and services that you can kind of link to in your specific piece of content. So you need to get to work creating helpful content and just focus on this, okay? Focus on these three aspects: content that makes your website complete, long tail, and your money posts. Running display ads on your website. So display ads do work on some websites and they're a terrible choice for other websites. It really just depends on the content, just like anything else. So for example, you have a dating blog, well, ad revenue is probably going to be quite low. You have a personal finance website, the ad revenue is going to be quite high. So it really does depend on the topic, and it also depends on the optimization. Now, this is Google AdSense. There are plenty of ad networks that you can use: Google AdSense, Ezoic, AdThrive, etc. But let's check out Google AdSense because they are the most popular. Now here you have two options. You have buy sites and you have buy ad unit. So ad unit allows you to manually insert these into your blog post. Buy site allows you to use Google Auto Ads. So you are going to have to add in your website down here. And then once you add in your website and it gets accepted, then you're able to add Google Auto Ads and just turn it on at the click of a button. So let's click the get code here. So I'm going to assume like once you have everything set up and you're actually able to get the auto ads enabled, now we have this. So once your site's approved, okay, then you can add this code. So let's go here to plugins because we need a plugin in order to add the code in. So let's go to add new. And I want you to type in header and footer. Okay, so we want this one, insert headers and footers by WP Beginner. We don't want this one, that's for Elementor. We want this one because it's a very simple, easy to use plugin that just gives us a space so we can add in things like Google Analytics or any type of like Google Auto Ads code. And okay, so now we're all set there. Okay, so let's come down here to settings, then insert headers and footers. And there you go. So right here up top there, you can put in scripts in the header and you can put scripts in the body and scripts in the footer. It's that simple. And then, so again, like once you add Google Auto Ad, once you add your website to AdSense, it gets approved. Then you can just turn on Auto Ads very easily. Then you just have to have that code in here. So let me back out of this. Let me come down here. Okay, so we'll click on this. And so right here, I have Auto Ads enabled. Okay. So, you know, for like, this is my personal blogger blog, Auto Ads is enabled right there. I'm good to go. So I have that specific code in this website, and then I could just turn Auto Ads on and off at the click of a button. Right down here, you have your different ad formats. So we have in-page ads, which you want, match content, obviously. Anchor ads are okay. Anchor ads means like it's going to be something that sticks to the top or the footer of the browser as the user is scrolling up and down. Vignette ads are super annoying and I never use them. Up to you though. But what a vignette ad is, like when anyone clicks a blog post or a page, they have an ad pop up to interrupt them. Very intrusive. I don't like it. Then over here you have page exclusions. And so that's for things like your privacy policy, terms of use page. Like you don't want to run display ads on those pages, so it's not required. And so that's kind of like how auto ads works. Just add your site, add the code, come up top there, click this button, set up the in-page ads, like whatever the ad format that you want, as well as the ad load. So I have it kind of in the middle. If I want to crank it up to the max, I could do that. And Google Auto Ads will use machine learning to best optimize the ads. All right, so adding ad units manually to your website. So let's navigate to by ad unit. Then you can add a different ad unit with display ads, in feed, in article. So these are different types of ads that are geared for different situations. So display ads is the most flexible. In feed ads means like a feed, like a blog post, blog roll. In article ads means that these look like they blend into the site, so they don't look like ads. If that makes any sense. Anyways, let's use the display ad. All right. So you can name your ad unit up top here. So name ad units right there. And then we want this ad size to be responsive. So that means it'll just change to whatever, whatever the device the person's on, the ad unit will automatically resize as appropriate. So we click here to create the ad unit, and then it's going to give us the ad, and that's it. So we take this copy, and then that's it. So now what you can do is you can go into your blog post manually and again find the HTML block and copy and paste it in if you want to do that. But nobody does that because that's insane, because then you're going to have all this ad code on individual blog posts. Again, it's better to use a plugin. So one plugin that I really like is, we'll go here, we'll go to add new. And so if you want to add in ad units manually, so you want to type in WP Quads. This is one of my favorite easy to use plugins for adding AdSense to your website. So ads by WP Quads, we'll go here to install. Great, let's go ahead and activate. Okay, so this is WP Quads. They just updated their interface. It's okay, but I definitely like the classic view. So I'm going to click here to return to the classic view. Now, if we navigate down here, so we have a bunch of different spots to put ads where we want: beginning, middle, end of post, after a paragraph by a certain number. Really helpful. So what you need to do is navigate over here to where it says ads. And then we have ad 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And so you open this one up, for example, ad 1, then just copy and paste the ad code that you just got from Google AdSense in here. That's it. Then click on Save Changes. Once you're set, click on General and Position. Now we have ad 1, we have ad code for ad 1. And so right here, we can come down here. So for example, let's assign random ads. No, I want to assign ad 1 to be after, we'll say, paragraph 3 or paragraph 4 on every single blog post. And that's it. And so the visibility comes down here. We can change where it is. No, we don't want ads on the homepage. No, we don't want ads on the category, archives, or tag pages. And we just want it only on the posts. And so that's it. It's literally that simple. So you come over here to the ads, you get different types of ad units. Okay, so you want to do display ads, you want in content ads, whatever. You can come over here and play around with that. And then you can assign where the ads appear manually in your site. Okay, so you can have it be ad 1, then we can assign, maybe have a different type of ad code for ad 2. We can assign this to paragraph 8, whatever. Or you want everything at the end of the post, middle of the post. Really nice. Then you can click Save Changes, and that's kind of like how you can manually add AdSense ads to your website using WP Quads. Optimizing your website for mobile. So now we're at the very end. Your website should be generally done. Now you just need to take a quick look to see how it looks on mobile. So the first thing I want you to do is make sure to open up the edit page and then click on customize, okay? Because you're going to want to take a look at it from how it looks on mobile and then be able to edit in real time with the page being open. That makes any sense? So right down here we have the controls, and right here I want you to navigate and click on the little thumbnail for the mobile device, for your phone. And so this is what your site looks like on a mobile device, on a phone. And so this looks okay, but that text is way too big. And so you need to go through it and make sure everything kind of fits, everything kind of looks good. So for me, it's like, okay, this looks very good. Everything fits in the place. Literally the only thing that would need to be fixed, in my opinion, would be this call to action at the top right there. So how do you do that? So we have to come up top here, okay? And now you want to take this and you want to highlight this text, okay? Because we want to adjust this section of the block, okay? So now we want to go over here to text alignment, and we want to click on the mobile device, okay? And so now we want to make sure that the font, it just fits a little bit better. So highlight it, okay? And now we want to reduce the font size, okay? We want to reduce the font size. There we go. So we want everything to fit in a little bit better. And there we go. Okay, so let's navigate back up top there. Let's move back up. There we go. Okay, so click it again, and there we go. So now make sure to click the icon and go back to desktop. Now you're going to notice like it looks exactly the same. So what's helpful about the Kadence theme is that for each individual block, see we're under the block, you have your controls right here. So when you click on this, now it's a phone, you can adjust everything as needed. So I would go through this and adjust everything as appropriate, okay? So if like, well, that's maybe a little small, we can make that a little bit bigger like that. Like, okay, that looks nice. Okay, so we can scroll down and then again, just go through your site. Adjust each little detail. Like maybe that's a little big. If like some people think, that's a little bit too big, maybe I can make it just a little bit smaller like that. There we go, like that. Okay, but again, it doesn't change the appearance the way it looks on the actual desktop. So again, just go through your site, go through your individual pages. This shouldn't take too long, but just make sure to optimize everything so everything kind of looks nice when people visit your website on various devices. SEO for your website. So before we end this tutorial, I just want to cover on-page SEO briefly. So let's open up our home page and let's take a quick look at the top right there. It says homepage-tblog. That's terrible. We got to change that. So let's go ahead and click on edit page. And let's navigate to the very bottom right there. Now down here, as we kind of covered in the blogging section, is where you can adjust the page title. So for blog posts, it should be the post title first, page separator, and then the description, then the name of the website. For the homepage, it's different. You typically want to lead off with the name of the website. So we'll say name of the website, page separator, and then a keyword description of what your website is about, and then a meta description to describe what this website is about broadly. And then you just want to make sure that you do that for every single page. So all your pages, okay, so your pages should be like about us, page separator, name of website, contact, page separator, name of website. Literally the homepage is the only one that should have the name of the website, page separator, keyword description. And then again, like I said earlier, your blog posts are like blog post title, page separator, and then the name of the website. Then always make sure to fill out your meta description and just make sure you, anytime you create a page, you pay attention to that little detail. And so that's really all you need to kind of worry about within your content. Make sure your SEO titles are correct. Make sure your readability is good. Go ahead and make sure that you're, put a keyword phrase in here. Make sure you're kind of focused on the keyword phrase as best you can with the content. And that's really what you just need to pay attention to as you're designing your website and as you're blogging and creating content. Anyways, that is it for this tutorial.
All right, everyone, that's it for this tutorial video on how to create a website and blog using the Kadence theme, Namecheap, Bluehost, that you can engage in affiliate marketing and display advertising so you can build a profitable website over time. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, hit that like button. My name is David from websitecreatorpro.com. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.